The Steet Pawnee Auto Group in Herkimer and Yorkville and Turnbull Insurance Service since 1866 present Mohawk Valley Living, exploring the arts, culture, and heritage of our region. A special good morning to Paula Wheel in Old Forge.
Good morning and welcome to Mohawk Valley Living. Today we are going to Richfield Springs, where we are going to meet the inventor of the futon, and we are heading to Otsego Lake to go sailing with the youngest members of the Otsego Sailing Club. So stay tuned.
You knew everything and told me what was right. There was day trips and fishing trips and camping in Saranac Lake. Long gone the innocence, I surely miss those days.
Today, starting at 10:30 a.m., is the annual Miller's Mills Ice Cream Social. Enjoy music, crafts, a log sawing contest, children's activities, and a pie sale at the annual Miller's Mills Ice Cream Social today from 10:30 to 2. Don't miss the July issue of Mohawk Valley Living magazine. Find a list of advertisers on our website to find a pickup location near you. Get your free copy today.
Like we were when I was 10.
When you get a year like this, when there's so many blueberries and the size is great and the quality is exceptional, go ahead and pick even more, because it really helps if you freeze it. If you make jam, jellies, you can use them, eat them fresh. But if you freeze them, you don't really even have to wash them. You can just lay them out and freeze them on a sheet pan so they're like marbles. Put them in a bag, pull them out as you need them in the winter. They don't stick together. It's a nice way to preserve them for the whole winter.
Wish that we were like old friends, like we were when I was 10. I wish that we never grown apart, and I wonder how it'll end.
The Steet Pawnee Auto Group is proud to bring Mohawk Valley Living to you each week, serving the Utica area and the Valley with outstanding customer service. In Yorkville at Steet Pawnee Ford Lincoln Mazda, Steet Pawnee Volkswagen, and Steet Toyota Scion. And in Herkimer at Steet Pawnee Chevrolet. Stop in and see why it's so easy to do business with Steet Pawnee. You go the extra mile for your small business and should expect the same from your insurance company. For over 140 years, Turnbull Insurance Service has been committed to local small business. For your commercial coverage, turn to the company ready to go that extra mile. Turn to Turnbull. Have a big adventure in Little Falls. Visit Canal Harbor and Rotary Park, rent a kayak and paddle along the Mohawk River and Canal. Catch the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs in action. Discover Lock 17 and explore the geological wonder Moss Island. Plan your big adventure in Little Falls.
Few places bring the past and present together like the Farmers Museum in Cooperstown. Recently named one of the top 10 places where history comes to life by Good Morning America. Each weekend, costumed actors portray 19th century characters. Learn from knowledgeable interpreters. Ride the Empire State Carousel. Visit animals on the working farm.
There's fun for the whole family!
Step back in time at the Farmers Museum in Cooperstown, New York.
View presents the 40th annual Old Forge Antique and Vintage Show and Sale Saturday and Sunday, July 26th and 27th. Over 60 vendors of fine antiques and collectibles at the North Street Recreation Center in Old Forge. Melrose Supermarket is your family hometown market, known for their choice hand-cut meats, homemade breads, and fresh pastas and salads. Check out the weekly specials at Melrose Supermarket, East Main Street in Frankfort. It's the Design It Your Way July sale at Adirondack Furniture. Choose your bedroom, living room, or dining room, and then select your style, wood type, wood finish, fabric, hardware, and more. American Made gives you the freedom of choice. Shop Adirondack Furniture for the best quality and price for solid wood furniture made in the USA. Ask about 0% financing and free delivery. Adirondack Furniture, Riverside Center, North Utica, and online at AdirondackHomeFurniture.com.
I'm gonna watch the sunset in the desert the prettiest sight to live.
Special thanks to Turnbull Insurance Service and Mark and Jim Turnbull. Their continued support makes the show possible. We're traveling around the Richfield Springs area today and heading south on scenic Route 28. A new bright red building has recently sprung up, the new home of Jeff's handcrafted Amish furniture. Owner Jeff Seraphin says there's a growing demand for long-lasting, better quality furniture. Check out his new location about 4 miles north of Richfield Springs on Route 28. Open every day.
So honey, don't look for me in the morning. Don't cry my name out.
We continue along Route 28 to Richfield Springs and left on Route 20. Tucked away on East James Street is a modest little woodworking shop. Around 30 years ago, the owner of the shop, Nikita Grigoriev, was issued a patent for the first futon convertible sofa bed. Today, he and his wife Joanne manufacture a much improved design of smart futons, convertible furnishings for indoors and outdoors. What started as a hobby has turned into a business and a mission to build durable furniture that won't end up in landfills.
It was a hobby, it was an idea. I wanted to design my own bed. I thought that would be really neat instead of going to a store and buying something. I wanted something really unique. So I got a chainsaw and I got some big 12 by 12 logs and I cut out a very rustic bed with the chainsaw, and then I polished the blocks and I made a big beautiful bed out of it, and that's where I slept in. And some people really liked it so much that they asked me to make a bed for them, and then I made another bed that was really different. It was hanging on ropes, swinging like a platform, almost like a treehouse bed, and they really liked that. So I took some photographs, I showed it to a store, and they said the store happened to be one of the first futon stores in the world, and this was like in 82, 81, and they said, what we really need is some kind of a frame that can hold a heavy cotton mattress, and that can fold it in and out, that can be easy to operate, that preferably have storage in it, not cost too much, be practical. If you can bring us something like that, would be very interesting, because we've been trying to do something like that and we haven't been able to. So I went home that same day. I shut myself up in the room and I sat on the floor in the corner and I sketched out the first basically mechanism of a frame that would do just that. And that's what eventually got the first patent on futons and started that whole industry. Now, I'm not the only one who was designing them. There were a couple of other fellows. Bill Brower was designing them in Boston, and Ron Massey in Montreal. But we didn't know of each other, and I'm the one who actually applied for a patent and got a patent on the first futon frame. But so what we did was actually raise the mattress off the floor and make it into what we would call a couch or a bed, basically furniture. And it grew from there. And as other people started making them as well, after a few years, it became very popular, and that's when the market started growing, and many entrepreneurs with money to invest started manufacturing them overseas. And they actually started bringing the price way down. It became a price war. And it became a cheap commodity. Instead of quality handmade furniture, we used only like cherry and maple and finished them beautifully and with designs on them. And they were a lot of people still have our very original futons. They're like museum pieces now.
But they got a bad rap.
Well, because they started manufacturing them overseas and trying to make them cheap and trying to bring the price down. And so that brought the quality down. It was a race to the bottom that I didn't want to win, so I got out of that and let the overseas manufacturers actually take that market down the drain, literally. And so futons eventually became a cheap, disposable commodity, which we wanted to disassociate ourselves from that name. Even though we have the first patent on it, now we make what we call convertible furnishings for indoors and outdoors. And it's a whole new patent, whole new design. It's much better than anybody else's. And we still make them by hand with tremendous attention to quality.
To learn more about Nikita Convertible Furniture, visit their website, justleanback.com. See videos of the furniture in action and all the styles, wood finishes, and fabrics available. You can also visit Joanne and try out the furniture for yourself at the Clinton Farmers Market on Thursdays. While in Richfield Springs, we travel Route 28 on the other side of Route 20 to visit Din Cider Mill. Owned by the Din family since 1929, the place is hopping busy during the apple cider season when they're pressing apples. Even in the summer months, you can shop for cider and homemade treats in their gift shop. They serve breakfast today and every Sunday, and Wednesdays are spaghetti lasagna dinner nights. Back on Route 20, we visit a blast from the past, the Petrified Creatures Museum of Natural History. It is much the same as it was during the 1950s, when Route 20 was America's thoroughfare dotted with roadside attractions.
Graduate geologist and paleontologist of the Universities of Colgate and Indiana, to describe to you some of our findings here at the exhibit. Before describing the exhibits in the shelter, let me take a moment to tell you a bit.
Stop in and check out their gift shop filled with kitschy souvenirs and fossils, or dig for your own in their fossil dig. Open daily 10 to 5 on Route 20, 5 miles east of Richfield Springs.
To see what we can see, traveling round the Mohawk Valley. Let's see what we can.
When planning your family's future, turn to the principles of the past. Turn to Turnbull. Turnbull Insurance Service is an independent agency representing the most dependable companies for all your insurance needs, as well as complete financial planning and wealth management. Call today for a free assessment.
The people you know, the rock you love, and more songs per hour. 92.7 FM, The Drive, Central New York's locally owned independent rock station.
Whether you're looking to sell or buy your first home, retirement property, farm, or lake house, call River Hills Properties. Agents look forward to meeting with you to present a personalized plan. River Hills Properties, bringing you home. Call 896-1009. Look and feel amazing at the graduation, tea, or garden party in a fun, comfortable dress from the Village Crossing. Check out the fabulous summer fashion in Clinton.
Hi, Dr. Tom. Bringing your cat to the Paris Hill Cat Hospital on Sundays is a part of Mohawk Valley living. Come inside and see why.
Paris Hill Cat Hospital, this is Lindsay. How can I help you? Hello, Mrs. Cole. Your cat is losing weight and you need an appointment? And you're only available on weekends. Sure, I have an available appointment with Dr. Karen Sunday at 2 p.m. Does that fit into your schedule? Okay.
We're open 7 days a week because we know that your cat can become ill anytime. The Paris Hill Cat Hospital, quality care for your cats and kittens.
I, ADIRONDACK, the Window King, invite you to visit our showroom in Holland Patent, or we'll come to your home by appointment. We've been installing replacement windows for over 45 years. Keep your palace cool in the summer and warm in the winter by adding new windows. Many styles and selections to choose from. Bay, bow, garden, and double hung, single hung, and slider windows. The Window King also introduces color replacement windows. So take a short drive to ADIRONDACK, Holland Patent, and tell them the Window King sent you.
Expecting company? Just call Deansboro Superette. They prepare delicious Middle Eastern platters for any number of guests. Call 841-4377. North Star Orchards is open for the season. The greenhouse is full of potted plants, annuals, and vegetables, and outside you'll find perennials, trees, shrubs, and topsoil. The bakery's open too, with fresh pies, cookies, breads, and muffins at North Star Orchards, Route 233, Westmoreland.
I learned to drive in the old cornfield. Got stuck once in a while. And laying back in the summer sun, sipping an ice cold glass of lemonade.
We travel along glimmering Otsego Lake and meet up with members of the Otsego Sailing Club and their young sailing students. The club traces its roots back to 1961 when a few families sailed together and decided to organize a club to encourage recreational and competitive sailing. Today, the club also includes a sailing school.
In the early 90s, we added a program for kids that were say 10 to 16, and for adults we started one at night. And this year we just added a program for kids 6 to 12. And one of the things in our mission statement is that we will do things to promote sailing. And we figured that we've done it for most of the age groups, but we haven't done anything for the young generation between 6 and 10. And the opportunity presented itself, and the two people running the program or working in the program, Josie and Connie, are excellent at what they do, and they have just staffed this program, and it's been really a great experience to see these kids learn how to sail this summer. This club consists of a unique group of people that have formed a very strong sailing community. We have about 90 memberships. I don't know how many people that represents, but almost everybody in the club gets on a boat at least 3 or 4 or 5 times a year. We have a very strong racing program. We race every Saturday and Sunday from the middle of May to the end of September, and we have a strong cruising program. And I think the community was ready to start with younger kids, and it was a group that we hadn't been able to reach before. And I will tell you, they are an amazing group. It was very, very pleasantly surprised to see how well they could handle the boats. It's a lifelong activity. It's a lifelong skill. You're outside, you're on the water, you're dealing with the wind. It's a phenomenal experience. It's working with nature. You can't control the wind, but you can moderate it. You can use the wind to help you get where you want to go. It's a very enjoyable sport.
To learn more about the Otsego Sailing Club membership and their sailing school, visit otsegosailingclub.com. You will also find information about weekend racing open to all, as well as cruising information and the Glimmerglass Regatta September 13th and 14th.
Of that tree, let's stay this way forever. Let's stay this age forever. Hold my hand, and here we stand, with our toes in the sand. I kiss you.
We head back up Route 80, west on Route 20, and travel about 2 miles to Tunnicliffe Creamery. We've stopped in here before for their homemade ice cream, but today we're treated to their homemade chili and their healthy applewood smoked turkey sandwich. The chili is amazing, and we're big fans of good chili. People come from miles around for their ultra-creamy homemade hard ice cream. Richard goes for maple walnut, a favorite of a young lady outside as well. Ivan Fassett should be considering retiring, but he's still coming up with new projects. Opening by August 1st is a new addition with farm fresh produce like his homemade tomatoes and fresh baked goods, as well as Stolfus dairy products.
Stories it would tell.
The Kirkland Art Center in Clinton presents Local Arts. To brighten up this gray time of year, we visit the home studio of Tracy Lippett and her dyewear in Fly Creek. Her basement is filled with an inventory of socks, shirts, scarves, and other wearables, and a kaleidoscope of dyes and paints she uses to transform them into colorful works of art.
Well, I've always been interested in textiles. When I went to school as a college student, I studied costume and textile design, and the real fundamentals of doing real dyeing happened there. I like to do work that I can spread easily to a lot of people. So right now I'm doing cotton wear for children and adults, people of all ages actually. So I work on cotton wearables right now, and I am doing a little bit of surface design on fabrics that I sew into either simple garments or scarves. The process is not one that is super complicated, but it does take a little bit of research and practice, in that you want to keep your dyes very color fast. And so I use powdered dyes. I have individual recipes for my color. I start with, everything that I start with is white, and I can layer things up, or sometimes I will do a base color and then add my own fabric sewn on the top like an applique. So there's various types of techniques I do use. I think some of it when you're doing, especially shibori is a Japanese word for tie-dye or resist dye. And when you do that, you don't always know what is going to happen when you unfold or untie the piece you're dyeing. It's like opening a little gift, and that is really fun and can be a big surprise. And then it can be a disappointment too if the colors don't work out, but it's really, that's just one of those simple pleasures, I guess.
You can find Tracy Lippett's dyewear at the Cooperstown Farmers Market during the Winter Carnival this weekend, at the Cooperstown Art Association at the library, and at the Village Crossing on West Park Row in Clinton. The Steet Ponte Auto Group is proud to bring Mohawk Valley Living to you each week, serving the Utica area and the Valley with outstanding customer service. In Yorkville at Steet Ponte Ford Lincoln Mazda, Steet Ponte Volkswagen, and Steet Toyota Scion. And in Herkimer at Steet Ponte Chevrolet. Stop in and see why it's so easy to do business with Steet Ponte. Visit Brenda's Natural Foods in their brand new, bigger location, right down the street at 236 West Dominic Street in Rome. Brenda's Natural Foods, something good and a lot of it.
Hi, welcome to the Little Falls Antique Center in the shops at 25 West. We have 2 full floors with 50 vendors of interesting and unique products ranging from specialized to very eclectic, primitive to the not so primitive. Remember, shop local, we're worth the trip.
Pick up the free Mohawk Valley Living magazine the first of each month at local businesses and your closest Stewart shop. For a complete list of pickup locations, visit MohawkValleyLiving.com. Mohawk Valley Living magazine. See what's in it for you. Call Yannick Excavating for all your residential and commercial projects, from new construction and land clearing to septic systems, driveways, basements, ponds, and topsoil. Visit YannickExcavating.com.
Now through August 24th, visit Cooperstown and the Fenimore Art Museum's new exhibition, Winslow Homer, The Nature and Rhythm of Life. Explore over 23 rarely seen original oil paintings and watercolors by one of America's foremost 19th century painters, now displayed as a complete collection for the very first time.
For more information, visit FenimoreArtMuseum.org.
The Fenimore Art Museum overlooking Otsego Lake in Cooperstown. Great American art in a beautiful setting.
When you shop Meelan's Market, you'll be the grill master. That's because every hot dog, beef patty, and sausage is made by Bob Meelan himself. Find everything for your next cookout, from store-made meats to fresh salads and tabouli, at Meelan's Market at the Four Corners in Clark Mills. That special art, photograph, or memorabilia deserves a special frame. Oscars creates one-of-a-kind gold and silver leaf mirrors and frames. Oscars Picture Framing, 12 Kellogg Road, New Hartford. Tom's Natural Foods is your connection to local farms for natural and organic fruits and vegetables, meats, eggs, cheeses, and other milk products at Tom's Natural Foods in Clinton, naturally. Just a hop, skip, and a jump ring from downtown on Chestnut Street is Quirky Works Jewelry Studio. We followed the signs along a path around an interesting old house to a little gift shop. Here, customers can explore the creations of artist Karen Katz, who is busy at work in the adjoining studio.
A stranger who helps you when you're in need.
This came from my love of old things, everything vintage, my love of jewelry, especially, channeling my grandma, and my love of reinventing things, especially forgotten things. So everything sort of came together in making the jewelry. I love to use old school pins, old rosary chains, neglected costume jewelry, things like that. And I love to layer them in sort of unusual ways, asymmetrical draping and things like that. So my things have an heirloom vibe, but they're a little bit funky. They definitely are there's an unusual look to them. People recognize them when they see them. My grandma, who I used to go antiquing with, those are some of my happiest memories from childhood. And every time we went antiquing, she would buy me a little trinket, a little rhinestone initial or something like that. So I feel like she's with me when I go gathering my treasures.
You can visit Quirky Works Studio by appointment. Call 607-434-3418 or visit online at quirkyworksstudio.com.
Gonna dirty my fingers, paint my toes, stay up all night and watch the light explode.
One of our favorite places to visit is the Willis Money Bookstore, located here in Cooperstown for over 25 years. Book lovers can spend hours here perusing the impressive collection of books.
Traveling round the Mohawk Valley, let's see.
As a small child, my best friend's mother was an author. She used to give me a book every time some holiday came up, Valentine's Day, birthday, Christmas, Easter, anything. That's how it all started. Today we have probably about 500,000 books, about 500,000 ephemeral items, newspapers and pamphlets and booklets and so on. And it just kept growing.
I'm here looking for a dime novel because it's here in Cooperstown that the dime novel king grew up. Erastus Beadle was his name. Books were expensive in 1860, so that when the dime novel came out, youngsters really embraced them because they could get a book like this for only a nickel. Actually, they were dime novels, but they cost only a nickel.
Erastus Beadle was apprenticed to a publishing company in Cooperstown when he was 17 years old. He published the first of what was to be known as a dime novel in 1860 and touted them as books for the million, a dollar book for a dime.
After learning that the dime novel king lived right here in Cooperstown, it piqued my curiosity as to where he lived, so we came down here near the lake, and behind me is the house where he lived. It was built in 1831. What a beautiful house. It's called Greystone, and come down here especially in the wintertime because you can then see why. Underneath all of the vines on the building, the stone underneath is gray.
My father was a miner.
What it is singing. Honey, honey, I got to know you. Ain't got no money, but I got plenty to show you. Honey, honey, meet me on the river road. Chi-chi Raposo.